No showing off.
Welcome to the channel. So today I was in the middle of editing this footage and I realized I needed a couple more shots. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into these Pirelli tires we're going to talk about. Please like and subscribe. So at this track day, I was using the Rosso II from Pirelli. This is a street tire. It's not really a good track tire. You can use it at a track day. I think novices can easily use this. I used it because it was cheap. I got it from Sport Bike Track Gear. It was $205 shipped to my door. I think they were having a sale or something. And I just wanted to see what a street tire would feel like at the track. And one thing I found out is that you can very easily find the limit of traction with these tires. So that's what I'm going to talk to you guys today about. So one thing about using street tires on the track is that they have a lot more carcass flex. And by carcass flex, I mean the actual movement of the tire itself. And when that's happening, when you're braking, the tire and the rim aren't in line with each other, okay? Like there's gonna be always a little bit of movement. You need that. But you don't want so much so that the tire is this noodle moving around on the rim and now it imparts deflection to your front end. That's where a slick is better because there's actually a solid piece of rubber going across the whole surface of the tire, whereas a street tire has these grooves cut in it. Those grooves actually collapse, and that's what creates the quick warm-ups that you need for a street tire. Now, one thing else I like about using this street tire is because I was getting that flex, and it was moving a lot on me, is that I could see I still had grip when there was movement. So that means when you move over to a full slick like this is a Pirelli SC3, when I move over to this full slick, because it has much less carcass flex compared to a street tire, is I'll be able to get on the brakes much harder and actually push the corner entry, which is where we all want to be anyway. So starting off, the Pirelli rears on a lot of their performance street tires have two compounds. You can see the actual compound line right there. This is a harder compound used for durability, so you can ride down the road where you're going to be spending the most of your time. And then this is a little bit more grip area, or if you get a little bit more sporty. At this track day, I found the rear to actually have a lot of spin, but it wasn't bad. The great thing about Pirellis is that their spin and their slide characteristics is they like to be very predictable. Like when they step out, it's not this big movement. It just moves out. And then you go, oh, it's sliding now. Let me make a correction or not, or whatever you're doing. And you can actually live with it. Other tires are different. That's why I like Pirellis. And it translates in their street tire all the way over to their race tire. Sliding these tires feels pretty good. A lot of guys like that. The other thing about street tires is they show you where you're messing up. One area I was messing up, I was a little bit too greedy on my entry because I am used to riding slicks. I put a lot of weight on the front and the rear would swing around without notice on corner entry. I didn't like that. I like a very solid inline bike. So this tire doesn't have a ton of grip when there's no load on it. And that goes over to where a slick will have that grip because the actual compound is designed to have grip even without as much load. Moving forward, I'm going to use this on days where I want to find out if I'm riding well. But most of the time, I think that I'm at the level where I can ride a slick and actually gain performance from it. This tire wasn't bad. I like how it felt. It just wasn't gonna take me much further. That's what you have to find out. So for $205 from Sport Bike Track Gear, because this was a good buy, and I still have a lot of life left, as you can see. One thing about street tires, when you're riding in an aggressive manner, is that they let you see where you're messing up. A really sticky tire, a really good tire like a Pirelli Slick or a Michelin Power Cup, Dunlops even, those tires cover a multitude of sins that we as riders put into the bike. I've seen, myself included, many riders do things on a bike that on a street tire you wouldn't have gotten away with it. A street tire will show you, hey, you're on the limit of where you're putting the weight on each end of the bike. A street tire also shows you where you're being slow, because if you're not on the limit of a street tire everywhere on a track, like I wasn't, you're gonna realize, oh shoot, I should have gone faster here, here, here. So for this track day, I think it was fantastic. It's probably one of the best investments to buy a set of cheap street tires that were performance oriented. They showed me specifically, I'm slow at Jennings GP from about turn 4 all the way to turn 10, almost to 11. The faster parts of that track I'm okay with, but for whatever reason, I'm just really slow through there. And you'll see it in the lap that I've got coming up.
Stuck, I see feet in the mud. You have been caught in the flood. While the water isn't harder, we run, we put you so the harvest is us. You have been enjoying life, sipping the syrup and a line in the way. Taking whatever you touch, the sword of the wicked is covered in blood. Welcome to the city of the nonsense. Pleasure is the peace we can find in. Dive in, ride a shotgun alongside the divided. Taking a piece of the pie, takes for what's provided. We won't be silenced, the path is wide and we found our God in. Blood, sweat, spit, and these bricks for Babylon. Made from the dust, these souls we trampled on. You have been caught in the flood. I have been caught in the blood. What you need right now? You have been caught in the flood. Wrapped in the sea right now. You have been caught in the flood. I have been caught in the blood. What you need right now? You have been caught in the flood. Caught in the sea right now. You have been caught in the flood. I have been caught in the blood. What you need right now? You have been caught in the flood. Wrapped in the sea right now.
So after showing you guys that, my parting advice is this. If you're a novice rider or new to intermediate or even an experienced intermediate who's having trouble moving up, get yourself a set of cheap tires. And by cheap, I mean inexpensive performance tires. Don't go out there, spend $450 on a set of slicks or $400 on a set of even Pirelli TRACKDAY TD tires, as they're called, and expect to learn something about your riding with that kind of tire on. Put a cheap tire on there. Put a tire on that you can get to the limit of, but one that's not going to be so dangerous that you'll crash, of course. Dunlop Q3 is a great choice. The Pirelli Supercorsa SP, which is a street tire. That type of tire is going to be fantastic to go out, learn if you're putting the correct inputs into the machine to get the performance from it, or if just to see, hey, you know what? You're not finding the limit of that tire, so you need to improve. Don't go out there and stick a set of sticky rubber on thinking that that's going to give you a lap time, because it's not. You can get a lap time, a very fast lap time, with a inexpensive tire that will actually last you just as long as any of these slicks will. So invest in yourself. Don't spend the money on the slicks. Spend the money on cheap tires that are safe and give you the performance you need at your level.